There's altitude adjustment.
Hey, feel I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a stick up.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Altitude Adjustment. My name is Mario Vitanzi, and I will be joined by the venerable Patrick Chiotti just as soon as he finishes bedtime. Broncos country, let's jump right into it, shall we? Your Denver Broncos are 14-3. They have won the AFC West and have officially secured the number one seed, meaning they get home field advantage throughout the playoffs. So why doesn't it feel like that? Why doesn't it feel like that, Pat? This is a team that had an 11-game win streak. This is a team that found all different kinds of ways to win, and yet here we sit at 14-3, Pat, tied for the most wins ever by this franchise. Like teams that had John Elway on them, teams that had Peyton Manning on them. And now Bo Nix is in that same conversation. So why, Pat, at 14-3, does it not feel as good as it should?
First and foremost, hello.
Hey, good to see you. You're looking sexy as always. I almost wore that hat, and then I opted for the other. I opted for the other Super Bowl.
I like
hat,
that
and
one.
I'm disappointed in myself. But
no, I like that one. It's
no,
fitting.
I like when we match. That's why I got us those Muscle Daddy shirts.
We're matching right now. We are.
I guess technically, yeah, we are. Okay.
Why does it feel like? Why does it feel like that? I think it feels like that for a lot of people because they're not scoring a bunch of touchdowns. I mean, they're moving the ball, they're controlling the clock in most of these games that they're, these later games. Holy crap. Okay. They're controlling the game and they're just kind of playing like basic football. And basic football for a lot of people, for the majority of people, is boring. It's extremely boring. Couple, short run, pass to the sticks. Short run, pass to the sticks. Big play, short play, field goal, right? It's not sexy. It's not, it's not like explosive. It's just management. That's all it is. And while we would have loved to see more touchdowns scored, that's just how the cookie crumbles. And it goes down to execution, especially in the red zone. You get down to the red zone 4 times against the Chargers and you blank. You kick 4 field goals. Like we can't have that.
Like close field goals. Like half of them were inside the 10, Pat.
Yeah.
It was the old school extra points that Lutz was kicking.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. And aesthetically, it's not appealing. And here's the thing. No. We're not going to know anything until we know something. And what I mean by that is if this team is not able to win a playoff game, then it will confirm what all of these media jockeys are saying about the Broncos being frauds. All of the people that were saying all year that this team was fraudulent. Because really, it doesn't matter at the end of the day how you get there. And the Broncos are there right now. But what are you going to do with the 1 seed? Like, this is literally what you were working for. This was your goal. You have one of the best home field advantages in the entire NFL. And if you squander this, it's going to look really bad. And so in my opinion, Pat, in order for this to be truly considered like a successful season, I think you have to win a playoff game.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say that the season is a failure if they get bounced in the divisional round, but it's going to feel that way. And it's going to feel like all of these people that were hating on the Broncos and people like you and me and probably everybody else in the chat who has defended them, saying, well, 11 wins in a row isn't fraudulent. I said that exact thing multiple times. Like, winning the AFC West isn't fraudulent. Getting that number 1 seed, it's not fraudulent. So how are you going to continue to build. And I'll tell you the thing that I'm really worried about, and maybe it's not a fair comparison. I understand, thanks to like what you were telling me and on your Twitter, go follow him at Patrick Chiotti on Twitter. Whenever you do your film breakdowns, it makes me feel so much smarter, gets me all bricked up, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
That it wasn't necessarily like a simple game plan, but it was like early install stuff, like week 1, week 2, early in the preseason install stuff that they are not executing. But let me tell you, I had a problem with it because, at the end of the day, like you went to Kansas City, beat the Chiefs. It didn't look good. It technically took like a last minute score and then like a last defensive stop. Would have liked for it to not be so close. They kind of deal with the Chargers. Like, let's get this straight. That game was never close. Trey Lance is terrible. As soon as McMillan had his pick 6, it's like that's probably going to be enough points to beat this Chargers defense. And I get that. But I would be remiss if I didn't look across the country and see what the Patriots did to the Dolphins, because they're in a similar situation. The Dolphins are down and out. They had their third string quarterback in, and the Patriots put belt to asses. And then I look at Buffalo. And these are teams similar position as the Broncos, where it's like you're playing for seeding. So you technically need to win because you don't drop down, but you also want to be healthy and you don't want to show a lot, especially considering the fact that those teams were going to have to play the following week. Yeah. But you look at Buffalo put belts to asses against the Jets. And I know that it's a different situation. I know that they are different teams, but it's hard not to be frustrated in situations like that because you see that and it's like, that's how you want your team to play in games like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, someone just said the Dolphins literally couldn't tackle. I think one of the biggest differences in this game compared to those games that you're talking about is there's still the coaching aspect. Jesse Minter is still a very good play caller. And it doesn't matter what 11 you have out there. If you're calling good plays in the right situation, those guys are going to be able to execute. Yeah. And I think that's a big difference. I don't want to call anybody in the NFL fraud. And I think that's, it's such a funny thing because like it's any given Sunday, anybody can win a game, no matter what. Now we look at those two teams, the Jets, straight booty cheeks. The first team in like almost 100 years to not have an interception for an entire season. That's insane.
But a team that we beat by 2 points.
Yeah. And that's where the any given Sunday thing comes into play. Now, is that also like the Broncos just not being able to convert down in the red zone, like convert touchdowns? They missed out on 16 points in this game. They missed out on 16 points. That's a pretty big difference. If we're talking about the score, right?
Like if you're scoring touchdowns as opposed to settling for field goals, yeah.
So the Jets and I'm not worried about the AFC East. That's the least of my concern. The Patriots are also the team that lost to the Raiders. So and that sole game is the reason why
that was the difference.
Are the 1 seed. Yeah. So I mean, you can say that they're frauds and what have you, but you still lost. You lost to the Raiders. Fine. You played one of the easiest schedules in the NFL. Okay, you can only play who is on your schedule. That's just how the cookie crumbles. They don't pick who they get to play. The NFL does that for them. And that goes the same for the Broncos, though. Like they can only play who is on their schedule. And at the end of the day, a win is a win is a win. It does not matter how ugly it is. It does not matter the ifs and ands. None of that matters. The only thing that matters is if it is a W or if it is an L. And the Broncos got 14 of them things. So, I mean, who's the fraud? Like, you still have to win the game. They still have to go out there and play and win the game. And they did it 14 times. So, like, why are we calling them frauds? I just don't get it. Now, in this game specifically, yeah, the offense was very vanilla. It was extremely vanilla by my count. As someone who calls offensive plays. It was like Sean Payton was calling
you as an offensive
game.
coordinator in high school, like you are calling more dynamic offensive plays, regardless of the situation.
I mean,
correct?
Not really. It's just
okay.
Here
I am trying to give you compliments and give you some credit, Coach Pat. Come on now.
Thank you. The feel that I had,
you're just being modest and handsome as always.
Thank you. The feeling that I had from watching this game was it was like Sean was calling plays on Friday night. Like it was like, all right, we're just gonna like, we're gonna call this same play 3 different times, just out of different formations. Like he did that with 2 separate concepts, and then ran like a couple other concepts a couple of times, and then ran like 6 other concepts one time throughout the game. And it was like, it was just like we're like, here's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna call some of our basic stuff and just try and control the clock for as long as possible. Why would Sean Payton show the Chargers our hand? Like, there's a good possibility that they might have to play the Chargers, or they might have to
play them in less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I mean, it's that the same thing goes for any of those other playoff teams: Buffalo, Houston, Pittsburgh, Chargers. Like, those are all teams that they're possibly going to have to play. Why are you going to put a bunch of stuff on film, especially in like key situations? Like, they called mesh a couple times in this game. They called stick like 3 different times in this game, and it was just like, all right, Sean's just out there just fucking around. It's Friday night. This is the team that, like, yeah, we're supposed to beat them, but we got the playoffs in a week. Like, let's just call a very simple game plan and just control the clock and win this game. It would have been nice for them to convert some of those field goals into touchdowns, but like, what are you going to do? Jesse Minter called a hell of a game. I think that guy is probably going to get some real head coaching love, especially
get
with all
him
the
out of the
openings.
AFC West for sure.
Well, then who's Harbaugh going to bring in? Wink Martindale? Like,
probably his brother.
Well, what? He's going to go coach special teams for the Chargers? I don't think so.
My cousin coaches special teams for the Chargers.
I know that was that. Yeah, you get that. Yeah, I think Minter called a good game. And Bo was pressured quite a bit. Bo was pressured 16 times. I think
he was pressured and sacked more than he had been the entire season than any other game.
Yeah, I mean, Houston, I think, was the only other team that really put pressure on him like that. And yeah, I mean, we did nothing and still Bo Nix was the leading rusher in this game. I'll say that again. Bo Nix was the leading rusher. It was like 7 yards. He beat McLaughlin by like 7 yards, but like RJ Harvey had 15 carries for like 28 or 27 yards, something like that. McLaughlin ended with like 41 and Bo ended with 48. And normally in those games where Bo is the leading rusher, they're not winning those games. So this season was kind of a turning of the tides. Last year, 1-score games, they were like 1-6 or some shit like that. And this year they completely flipped the script. Last year, if Bo was leading the team in rushing, they were likely losing that game. And I would have to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure they would have won most of those games that Bo was the leading rusher in. So I think it's more so, was it disappointing? Maybe if you're looking for like the high scoring affair, but just from a football, like a coaching and play calling standpoint, they wanted to win this game. They were not going to let anything derail that goal. It didn't matter who was playing. It didn't matter if Herbert was playing or not. They were still going to try and win this game by doing whatever they needed to do. Defense showed out in a big way. Offensive line needs to get better. Quinn Miners did not have a great game. Forsyth was up and down. I still had a pretty good game in the run game.
What were the snaps, Pat?
Kind of, all over the place.
In case that reference is lost on you, a constant complaint that Pat has of Luke Wattenberg are the erratic snaps.
I think it's just, and I know fans of this program and People who have listened to me on the other show know how I feel about the center position. And it is arguably the most important position on the offensive line, just from communication, pre-snap, post-snap assignments, picking up stunts and twists and all kind of shit like that. And then, the snaps are a big part of it. Snaps can derail the quarterback's processing by a half second. That's a lot of time when we're thinking about it. So it just kind of leans in more to the, I hope they spend. They already spent with Wattenberg, but hey, maybe you can convince the team to take him in a trade. I think Forsythe, the things that Forsythe does better, just real quick, the things that Forsythe does better, second level blocking. He's much more efficient in second level blocking, and he's a lot more alert at looking for work. And what I mean by that is Wattenberg has this tendency that, like, if he has a guy literally on nose or in a gap over and he vacates, Wattenberg just kind of watches him go and doesn't look for work. And if he's gone, that usually means that there's something else coming. And he just has a really tough time with picking it up. And he's not super like aggressive in pass pro. Whereas Forsythe is a bit more aggressive in pass pro. That dude gives 100% effort every play. And I absolutely love it. Super good, like low center of gravity, wide base, just like everything you want to see. It's just the little things that we still need to clean up, especially going into the playoffs where we're not going to have Luke Wattenberg back. He's going to play a pivotal role. And when he went down, it was like, oh, shit. So am I happy about this offensive performance? No. Do I think that it's like cause for concern? No, I don't. I think that there's still things that Bo needs to clean up. I think there's things that everybody can clean up. Effort, details are something. We'll talk about one of those plays later, but it's just like, it just boils down to, some guys are still young and trying to figure their way out in the NFL. Some guys need to be giving better effort through the end of plays, and some guys just need to pull their heads out of their asses because you have home field advantage in the playoffs. You get to stay home, but the reality is you've got a lot of teams that are going to be coming your way that you've already seen before. I mean, two of the four teams that they could possibly play in the second round, they've already played before. One of them they've played twice. There's another team in the AFC that absolutely scares the shit out of me. Are you going to be ready to face them in the AFC Championship game if it comes to it? Are you going to be able to pull your head out of your ass and not let them beat you at home again? That's my biggest concern. So take this week, figure your shit out, and for Sean Payton, personally, coach, please get the goddamn run game going. I can't stand to watch another piss poor RJ Harvey performance. JK, get your ass back, man. Need you. And shout out to D-Mark. Jesus Christ.
Jack, you're an absolute legend for that. Thank you so much, man. We love you. Thank you for the constant support. You've been rocking with us since day one. We appreciate you. Yeah, Carter, good point. Give it to Jaleel. Looked like the much more effective, efficient runner.
Yeah,
and man, the RJ Harvey situation, I really don't know what to think of it, because in terms of like the kind of gadgety plays or the pop plays, like he's obviously popped and he's looked good. Obviously, has scored a ton of touchdowns for this team. But yeah, it's like I gotta see more. Like where you were drafted, and I get you're a rookie and Jaleel's in his third year. Jaleel should not be looking that much better than you. Sorry. He just can't, especially where we're at. And if you want to get the run game going, I know you had pointed out, Pat, it's like we need to give the ball to Jaleel more in situations like that. And I think Sean needs to do a better job of like riding the hot hand. And I think Jaleel ended up with a decent amount of carries. But if that's the ebb and flow of the game, where either Harvey's not hitting the holes or they're not opening up for him, whatever it might be, you got to ride the hot hand. And in that game, I think you have to realize it's like, stop trying to fit a square peg into a round hole and continuously giving the ball to RJ. Like, it's not happening. It's not popping. They tried a lot of different things and nothing seemed to work with him. And I think that's going to be the biggest thing in this divisional round, whoever it is that they get. Because, Pat, whoever they play, they're going to have a good defense. If it's Houston, we know maybe the only defense better than Denver in the entire NFL. If it's going to be the Chargers, we already saw it. And, like, they're going to have their full roster actually playing defense. You know, they're not going to be rolling out a bunch of backups out there. And that's going to be an incredibly tough defense to go up against. We already saw the Jaguars. It's like, yeah, they had a couple of pop plays, but that's a team that came into your house when you were the hottest team in the league and thumped you and put it on you. And they have a good defense, but more so they are very opportunistic. So really, and then like the Steelers are the Steelers. Like the Steelers are, you know, they kind of backed into the playoffs. It took a missed kick, but they have a good defense, and they're mostly difficult to run against, especially if you're not sticking with it. And so those would be my causes for concern. And here's the thing, like, we're not trying to rain on anybody's parade. I'm not trying to rain on anybody's parade. I'm beyond ecstatic that this team is 14-3. It's just funny because if you had told me at the beginning of the season, hey, the Broncos are going to go 14-3, they're going to be the number one seed in the AFC, win the AFC West, I would have been way happier then than I am now. And I think it's because of the implication. And I understand how two-faced I sound saying this, because all season, all I've been saying is the only thing that matters is what happens in the win column. The only thing that matters is, are you winning the games? And you're not going to look back at these games. But here's the thing. We have 2 weeks to sit on this, 2 weeks to prepare for whoever we might play in the playoffs. And so now we're going to nitpick. We continue our expectations as the season goes. So regardless of how you are as a team at 14-3, the fact of the matter is that you're 14-3. The expectation now is to get to the Super Bowl. That's it. So when I made the title of this video, is Super Bowl boom or bust for the Broncos? What I mean by that is this a failure of a season if they don't make it to the Super Bowl? I'm not calling it a failure. But here's the thing, Pat. Like I said, one of the best home field advantages in the entire league, arguably the best. That crowd is absolutely rocking. It's going to be the first playoff game there since they won the AFC Championship game 10 years ago. That place is going to be nuts. Wow. You cannot waste this advantage, because as good as they played this year, and we assume that they're going to be even better next year, and I've been popping off at the mouth saying that every chance that I get, because the Russell Wilson contract is finally off the books. You and I had said that last year that was the worst roster that Bo Nix and Sean Payton would have. Carried into this year, and that's absolutely true. So now this needs to be the second worst roster that Bo Nix and Sean Payton ever have. You're not going to have the Bo Nix contract on the books. You've still got a few more years on Bo Nix's rookie deal. So you got to make noise right now. And so the failure if they don't make it to the playoffs? No, but it's going to be a huge letdown. The number one seed is never guaranteed. The Broncos could be better next year, Pat, and end up with the 2, 3, 4 seed. That's just the nature of the AFC. It was a really weird down year for the AFC. Chiefs didn't make the playoffs. Bengals were down and out again. Ravens didn't make the playoffs. And so now, because of that, everybody thinks that it's Josh Allen's time, even though they're the number 6 seed. So,
it's crazy that they are favored in Jacksonville. Like, oh boy, I'm telling you, that team scares the shit out of me.
They should scare the shit out of everybody. So I'm not going to say, again, if they don't make it to the Super Bowl, it's not a failure, but it'll be a letdown. And honestly, I think if they don't win the divisional game, it's a letdown, because you had this incredible season. You exceeded all of these expectations. You had all of the accolades. You had home field advantage. And if you drop the divisional game and you do not win a playoff game, then it doesn't matter, because you didn't win a playoff game last year and you got embarrassed. So how much did you really improve? Like, regular season you did, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you do in the regular season. It matters what you do in the postseason. John can tell you that.
How many 0-0 right now?
Playoffs and not make it. I mean, we all know he has one Super Bowl, and he probably should have won 2 or 3 with Drew Brees, having Drew Brees as long as he did.
Yeah, he got screwed out of one too.
He did.
Really unfortunate.
In fairness. And that's another thing. And I talked about this with Ryan Edwards last week. That's another thing that scares me. Because I never want to be guy that blames the officials, and I'm never going to stoop to that level. But man, Pat, it really has felt like the majority of the season, they do not want the Broncos in that position. It feels like the league still has a little bit of animosity towards Sean Payton. Like if I feel like it had to boil down to something, that's what I'm attributing it to.
Yeah.
And I get it. Like the officials have been bad really across the board, but week in and week out, we saw like in really big moments, huge momentum shifts, huge no calls, that build the other team out against the Broncos, really terrible calls that win against the Broncos. I mean, shit, you want to talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars? They were gifted 14 points because of 2 really, really bad penalties in those given situations. Does that change the outcome of the game? We don't know. We'll never know. But it sure as shit would have been a lot closer than it was. I can guarantee you that.
I think the T-Law play. I think the T-Law play probably changes the momentum a little bit. If they take that thing back and they score a touchdown, I think it affects. It definitely affects the momentum. Offense is now like, oh, shit, we like got to get our get back. And that's just like that's a momentous play. I think Sean's just got to have this team on a level head. I mean, he's been in this position before, right? And that's what I love. I love listening to Sean Payton talk about these situations because it's just about like, hey, like we just have to do our job. We just have to, you got to act like you've been here before. You have to just keep your eyes forward, execute your play, and then we'll move on to the next thing. Because the most important thing, Mario, is always the next thing, right? And they just have to stay laser focused. You can't let a poor performance on offense affect you going into home field advantage of the playoffs. All at this point, all that's behind us, right? All 18 weeks of that regular season done. It happened. It's over with. Moving on. How are we going to get better during this week? And then how are we going to prepare for our opponent the next week? What are we going to do to get better in this time that we have off? How can we stay focused on our goal and not reminisce on, oh, man, I should have caught that ball, or oh man, I missed that receiver on that concept. Gotta forget it. Gotta forget it and just keep moving forward because
and sometimes
2 steps away.
That's what a playoff game can come down to, right?
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right. You have to stay laser focused. So branching off from that, I want to ask you this. And you and I had talked about this over the phone before the show. We both agreed that Bo looked skittish on Sunday. Probably one of the worst games Bo has played, and I guess you can attribute that to this season, I should say. And you could probably attribute that to, like you had pointed out, the line was not nearly good enough. I mean, Forsyth going down and then Bowles going down and then kind of inexplicably coming back in, which to me, that was stupid. It's like you have this game at hand. That to me, there was no reason to put Bowles back in that game. At that given time, is like 2 or 3 plays into the third quarter. Really, at that point, the game is at hand. It's like, just get out of there. Like, stop losing guys. And, Bowles went down. We hope that he'll be 100%. But, man, what if he went back out there and did more damage to his ankle, Pat? We don't know. The only person that knows is God. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Then you also lose P.J. Locke. I haven't heard an update on him. You're already down Brandon Jones, who you probably won't get back at all, like maybe for the Super Bowl, but haven't heard an update on him. And so you wanted to get out there and, hope that nothing terrible happens.
Yeah.
And something like a couple terrible things almost happened. And so circling back to my question, I started to get off topic, but we're going to bring it back a little bit. Bo was looking skittish. Maybe we can blame the offensive line. Are you worried about what version of Bo we're going to see in the playoffs? Because if we see this version.
But it's been the Crosby, Nicks, Wilson, Nicks matchups today.
Like if we see Psycho Bo, if we see Second half against the Green Bay Packers, Bo, where he was just making absurd throws. This team, it doesn't matter who they play. Jaguars, Seahawks, Rams, I don't give a shit. If Bo looks like that and the defense holds their own, the Broncos are winning the Super Bowl. So my question to you is, were you a little bit worried about the skittishness that you saw from Bo? Or was that more of like an isolated incident? Like it was a weird situation. You already talked about, the kind of play calling, the install, everything like that. Does that change in the playoffs, or is there cause for concern?
I mean, that's the thing about Bo is I'm always going to be a little bit concerned. This is a guy who doesn't want to turn the ball over. And I don't know if Sean Payton has like threatened him and his family and said, if every turnover that you have, I'm going to cut off a toe from your beloved aunt. And he's like, no, please, Sean, no. He's like, I'll do it. I swear to God. Like, if that's the case, then that would explain, like, he's just trying to get out of there. He's trying to not take sacks because sacks are killers, right? He's just trying to like make plays. And that's kind of just always been who this guy is ever since high school, ever since Auburn, even at Oregon. Like, this is just the guy who just wants to make plays. And you can't hate him for that. Like, I know a lot of people do. A lot of people shit on him because
have to make plays though.
He'll get out of the pocket and then he'll throw some off-platform throw that's either in the dirt or outside or over the guy's head, or it hits him dead in the chest. It's just kind of like that whole spectrum of like what the hell can happen on this given play. Is it cause for concern? Maybe. Like, you just want to see this guy execute. I just want to see him execute. And if he is rushed out of the pocket, like we saw him do against LA, I mean, shit, when he faced pressure, there were a few times where, I mean, he bailed out and he got a big gain, right? So if you can continue to do that, we saw him do it in the Houston game as well. Like, he found a lane to run and put him in position to win a game. I think that it's just the emphasis is take care of the ball. Now, does that mean we get the snap and then it's oh shit, I got to get out of here? Like, no, we have to be able to get through our reads and
let plays develop.
Yeah. Yes. But he is just, sometimes it's like, man, stick your eyes there for just a half tick longer. Stick your eyes there for just a little bit longer. He'll go, like, typically it'll be snap 1, 2, 3, right? But for him, it's like, okay, snap 1, 2, 3. It's that much quicker. And so I don't know if that's because of the pressure. Like, he should not be feeling like that. And he didn't look that way, the previous 3 or 4 weeks. Like, he was staying in the pocket. He was making throws and he was getting out when he needed to. That's what you want. But I just think that if it's the wrong situation, he's going to try and force something. It'll get deflected or it'll go off somebody's hands and it'll be an interception. And everybody will be like, oh my God, Bo Nix sucks. When it's just like, dude's just trying to make a play. Like, John Elway did that how many times? We all watched him do that how many times?
Yeah, made a career out of it.
Josh Allen is going to do that every game. Pat Mahomes is going to do that every game. The best of the best of the best do it. It's not uncommon.
You just have to make sure that it's a calculated risk.
Let's not be so reactive, everybody. Let's not be so reactive. Do you guys think Sean changes?
Yep. Here you go.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Because I saw a lot. I saw a lot of 12 personnel and 13 personnel. Even in this Chargers game, he was running 2-3 tight end sets quite a bit. So I think the answer to that is him changing it up would be going like 10 personnel or just strictly 11, because he utilizes a lot of 12 and 13.
Well, a different question, or an additional question here from Samuel Castro. And thank you for watching, Sam. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you.
Mims get incorporated more in the offense. This is like a conundrum that we can't seem to figure out, right?
I
Because
figured
we're
it
talking
out.
about a receiver that they
I
well, I
figured
don't
it out.
even think Sean has figured it out, if we're being perfectly honest. We were talking about a guy that they
I
traded
think
up for,
yes.
and I think we know what he is as a returner, and he's one of the best returners in the entire league, and he flips the field at a whim, and that's fantastic. And this is something that we have talked about, Pat.
Yeah.
And would you like to see Mims unleashed more? Paul's saying unleash Mims and the number one tight end, who I'm guessing is Evan
Adam
Ingram, even though I
Troutman.
think his stats are similar to
You want
Adam
to see
Troutman.
an Adam Troutman game in the
There's
playoffs?
there's clearly something going on behind closed doors that we don't see with Marvin Mims. When he has the ball in his hands in space, we know what he can do. He'll come in for the gadget plays, the jet sweeps, the occasional screen, but they're using him as a clear out guy. And Pat, I know you've discussed this, on this show previously a handful of times. There are a lot of times when Pat's watching film, he's not clearing out the way that he should, or he's dogging routes a little bit and not necessarily doing everything that he needs to do. It's like we see the highlights, okay? But like the normal person watching, like myself, like I'm not breaking down film like Pat, so I defer to Pat in these situations. And I had asked them this exact question, like, why are we not using Marvin more? He is a weapon. I think everybody understands that he's a weapon. Are they saving him for the playoffs? No, I really don't think so. I think you're going to get mostly what you saw during the regular season, except you're going to have different wrinkles. They're going to mix things up. They'll have different hot routes, and they'll have maybe different primary receivers on certain routes. But I don't think that they're all of the sudden going to start giving Mims 10, 15 touches in a game or even targets. Like I said, I think he'll come in for the occasional play. But yeah, for the most part, I think he's a clear out, or you're bringing him in to run some motions, like some orbit motions, and get into space and just get the defense thinking. Because when Mims is on the field, you have to account for him. Because it's like once the ball is in his hands, like he's capable of things. The problem is like getting the ball in his hands. And honestly, Pat, like one of the plays that we broke down, or that you broke down earlier in the season, was what was ultimately one of the game-clinching catches that he had against the Giants. And if you go look back at that route, he's not expecting the ball. He's
not supposed to get the
clear
ball.
out route. He actually, and it worked out great, like fantastic. The ball was not intended for him. It was intended for Courtland Sutton. Bo was thrown to a spot. Courtland wasn't there. It dropped right into Marvin Mims' unexpected hands. Thankfully, he made the play. But on that particular play, if you go back and watch it, because Pat broke this down, Mims should have been probably 5, maybe 10 yards deeper downfield, because that's the clear out route. He's clearing out the safety so that Sutton had space on that. I think it was a deep dig that he was running, or maybe a skinny post, so that the dagger route, so that he had space. So it's plays like that where it's like we as fans, like me as a fan, and you see that at surface level, and you're like, oh my God, like what a fantastic play. And Mims has made plays for them. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to diminish what he's done, but I think because of these splash plays, Pat, and correct me if I'm wrong, that Broncos country and Broncos fans kind of put him up on a pedestal that maybe he's not quite at.
Yeah, I mean, they use a second-round pick on the guy. And, excuse me, historically, you do not use second-round picks on punt and kick returners. That's just not.
Unless you're getting a Devin Hester.
I mean, sure. And you said if there was something going on behind closed doors, and I don't. It's not behind closed doors. It's on film. My biggest thing is the effort is not there. I don't think that Marvin Mims is built to be an outside Z receiver. I don't think that he is showing the level of effort that is worthy of putting him out on the football field on offense. And it's hilarious. I had a guy who was kind of similar to this. Just kid was talented, kid was fast, kid could catch. But if we call the play that, he's running a dummy route or he's running a clear out, he would half-ass it, wouldn't run the route, or would run it incorrectly or just do his own thing. So I sat him. I sat him. Didn't let him play offense. Coach, why am I not getting snaps? Why am I not going in? Because I see what you're doing on film. And that is the exact reason why we've seen him kind of just phase out from being the receiver and then being the gadget guy, right? If we can get you the ball in your hands and like hand it to you, perfect. But if we need you to run a route or like be a part of this offense, which includes you running routes where you're not getting the ball, it's gonna show on film. Like you're gonna see him just kind of jog it out. Like if you are running a clear out route or you are running a route that is designed to take a defender away from a certain area, bust your ass. Run downfield. Don't get 20 yards downfield and then pull up and do this whole thing, because the defenders are looking right at you and they react and they see it. And I can't
it's all about timing.
It's all about timing, and
it's all about throwing to spots. And that's the thing. Like if you're talking about spacing, the spacing is very specific. I mean, we've heard the stories about when Peyton Manning used to throw comeback routes, and DT had to realize that it's exactly 12 and a half yards. It's not 13. It's not 12.25. It's not 11. Don't do that. Don't do that. You ran a bad route, and I shorted you.
Shut your mouth. The thing that
I was Peyton Manning in that situation, and you were Demaryius Thomas. Okay, you're a similar physical specimen. You ran a lazy route.
Oh,
so here you are talking about people not dogging routes, and that's all you did when you came out here.
The thing that aggravates me the most about the Mims situation is that you can see him doing this stuff on film, and then people jump on Twitter and they're like, "Why isn't Marvin Mims getting the ball?"
Look, I'll tell you, Pat, because he makes the splash plays. Yep. He makes great plays. Like every once in a while, you are going to get a Marvin Mims masterpiece.
Sure.
And that's why people feel deeply about that. But here's the thing, Pat. If he was as good as all of Broncos country or the majority of Broncos country thinks he is, don't you think he would be getting more snaps? Don't you think that he would be getting more targets? Don't you think he would be getting more manifested touches for himself? Like sometimes you got to read between the lines, and sometimes it's right in your face, and you just have to use common sense. Yeah. Now, if a switch flips, and all of a sudden he decides to be that guy, like talent-wise, it's there. Skill-wise, it's there. It's like he's as big as me, but he plays like he can high point the ball like he's 6'3". Yeah. We've seen it. And I think that's the most
That's one of my favorite things about him coming out.
Yes. And fans don't want to accept the fact that he's not that guy because they've seen flashes of where he can be that guy.
That's a him issue. And he needs to figure that out.
It's either going to click or they're going to draft Zachariah Branch and they're going to let Marvin Mims walk.
Don't do that to me. There is a reason that Troy Franklin plays as many snaps as he does. Effort. There's a reason they brought back Lil Jordan Humphrey to this football team. Effort.
Lil Jordan Humphrey.
He ain't that little.
That little.
There is a reason that other guys are getting these snaps and getting these targets instead of Marvin Mims. People, please watch the body language of the players on film. It will tell you the entire story. I do want to answer Samuel's question here. Do you guys think Pat Bryant gets more involved more during the playoffs? Yes, and he should, and they need to be giving him at least 7 to 8 targets a game. At minimum, 7 to 8 targets a game. That guy is a certified dog, blocks his ass off. That another guy, high effort dude. There is a reason that he is out on that football field every damn Sunday.
And that's what you're talking about. That's what's popping on film. You will never know, like when you watch a route, any route, you would never know that the ball is not going to Pat Bryant. And he was arguably the best blocking wide receiver on this team.
Oh, by a long shot.
Sam,
Portland's very good, but Pat Bryant is the dude.
I think that they absolutely – I mean, if they don't get
One
him more
path to
involved, then I
another.
think that will certainly be a point of
They're giving
emphasis
him
and a point
choice
of concern.
routes. They're giving him choice routes. They
As a rookie.
they put a lot. I mean, Sean's putting a lot on his plate, even as a rookie.
Were you the one that pointed out that like 3 or 4 of his catches, which I think were all first downs, like came off of choice routes? I remember
Robbie.
seeing that. So it's
Yeah,
like the
Robbie.
fact that they're giving him that kind of responsibility in a situation where you have to have a first down, because that's been Cortland Sutton. Cortland Sutton is one of the league leaders in catches on third downs and converting thirds into first. It's one of the reasons that Bo has converted so many third and fourth downs into first downs is because of Cortland Sutton.
Most in the league, by the way.
But
most first downs and touchdowns on third and fourth down, Bo Nix.
Yep, just saying. Like when you need to have it, he gets it. And Pat Bryant can be that guy too.
Yeah.
And if you are trusting not just a rookie, but like a third round rookie with choice routes in those kinds of situations, that speaks volumes to the kind of player that he is, because it means that you have trust in him to read the defense and do the right thing, and also to be on the same page with Bo Nix so that Bo Nix has trust in him. And honestly, Pat, I think that's the biggest thing. I feel like they're scheming up plays and there are certain concepts where they are getting Pat Bryant open. I think that it's a matter of Bo Nix has to continue to establish that connection with him. And I think because like his snaps were limited earlier in the season and maybe they weren't quite on the same page as early as they should have been, but we have seen that progression of their relationship kind of come into focus. And I think if you want to talk about like the effect of Pat Bryant, you take a look at like what Troy Franklin and Devon Vele did last year. And
I think
where
Pat
he's at right now, Pat Bryant is much further along than even Devon Vele was, and certainly much further along than Troy Franklin was. And it seems like they're getting that connection, and you can see it build week to week. Now, what's interesting is, will those games that Pat had to miss because of the hamstring and then because of the concussion, was that throwing off their timing? Was that throwing off the trust a little bit? Or are they going to be able to reconnect? But I think if the Broncos go on a playoff run and they go on a Super Bowl run, they make it to the Super Bowl, I think that Pat Bryant has to be very involved. Because if you look at this offense, Pat, like if you're game planning for this offense, number one guy that you're worried about is Cortland Sutton. You have to take Evan Ingram into consideration. You got to make sure that Troy Franklin isn't taking the top off. You have to, keep guys in the box, and they probably will keep guys in the box, and they'll say, hey, they're going to dare Bo Nix to beat you. But like RJ Harvey, we already discussed, he's had the pop plays. The guy that they're not going to be game planning for is Pat Bryant. And we as Broncos fans have seen it. And if you can only pick a couple of guys where you're like, we really need to limit these guys, Pat Bryant needs to be the dude that comes out of nowhere. And we see it every year in the playoffs, a guy that, maybe had a little bit of a quiet season and that is not a household name, that they just pop off in the playoffs. And that's the X factor and the difference for a team that, makes a Super Bowl run. Especially in a situation where could be. If they actually commit to giving him the football, it could and should be.
Well, I think they have to. You have to. Like the run game was so critical for, especially in those early season wins, and before JK went out, like the run game was so pivotal to their success. And there's a reason why we saw Jaleel getting those carries in this last game when he got those carries, third quarter, late in the game, because he's the guy who was running harder and was making guys miss. No, like, love RJ Harvey and all that. Like, you're a rookie, man. I get it. I understand. But like the running lanes are there, and we're just not seeing it. We're getting almost nothing. And like, in order for us to have that deep playoff run game's got to be clicking. Give Jaleel McLaughlin like 4 duo carries in the first half of whoever they're going to play, and I promise you, he'll probably average about 6 to 8 yards a carry on those 4 duo carries alone. That dude is like, he's hungry, and like we see it now. He didn't play for how long this season, right? He just sat on the sidelines, healthy scratch. And now he's getting that opportunity, and that's awesome. But like, even if JK comes back, I think you still give Jaleel you still have to give him some carries. Like, you still have, because he could be a spark plug. I like using RJ in the screen game. It's not working. Teams are seeing it right away. They know what's coming.
It's telegraphed.
It is. And they set some good stuff up with Bidet, but it's just not the same. So like you've got JK as your true downhill guy. You've got Jaleel as your change of pace spark plug, and then you've got RJ as, like, honestly, use RJ as your Reggie Bush. Use him as your Reggie Bush.
Yeah.
That's the guy that you're putting out on swing passes, and that, yeah, you are giving screens to, but like also have him run some routes. They put RJ out as a receiver in their empty sets all the time. We're gonna look at one here soon, but like just use him in that role. Like he is a good athlete. I think after the catch he's great, but man, like the downhill run game stuff that they were trying to get going in this game, it just wasn't working with him in there.
Go ahead and pull up the plays that you want to break down for us real quick, Pat.
Yeah. Let me just
Matt's going to go ahead and show everybody why he deserves a spot on this coaching staff right here.
Yeah, well, Sean wouldn't like what I have to say.
That's because you would be in Sean's ear telling him what to do, and Sean's a control freak who surrounds himself with glad-handing yes men who just want, he just wants them to be on board with everything that they're doing. Oh my God, what have I done? There we go.
I'm back. All right, so this play.
Wait, hold on. Let me get
prepared. We need Studious Mario.
Yeah. Okay.
There we go.
I can see. Yeah. Here we go.
So this was the play that had me audibly laughing.
This is when Bo's controller unplugged.
Yes, this is your opponent has disconnected play.
He lost the connection.
When I watched this play back, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. I get why. This play, this is what I was talking about earlier when I say we have to focus on the details. Like we have got to focus on the details. So one thing I love,
the most time that he had the entire game to throw, by the way.
Yeah.
And I think that's why he was like flat-footed and looked like a statue out there, is because like based on how the game was going, he was shocked that he had this much time to just stand in the pocket.
First things first, something I really loved about this play was we get the call, right? Everybody's in the huddle. Watch how fast they come up to the line. Everybody get set. All right, hey, we're set. No one can adjust, right? But Jesse Minter, fantastic. He knows that Sean Payton loves to run mesh down inside the 5-yard line. So he calls a pretty good mesh beater. Okay. So he just calls cover 2, right? This play is just ugly from the get-go. And I really don't blame Bo for just kind of standing there saying, fuck, what do I do? Because Sean was probably like, hey, we're going to score on this play. We got to get a touchdown here. Okay. So we have Mims in the backfield. This is Mims. We're going to go pistol, bunch left. Okay. Or just pistol tight, since we're kind of bunched over here. This is RJ Harvey right here. Cortland Sutton, Evan Ingram, Pat Bryant, Bosef Nix, and Marvin Mims. Okay. So pistol tight, mesh, spot. Uh-oh.
Whoa.
Evan Ingram gets
that's a bad way to start a play, Pat.
Evan Ingram gets jammed off the line.
You don't want your tight end 2 getting jammed at the line, Pat.
No, because he has a very important job in this play. Now, I wish that I had the ability to like draw here. That would be awesome, but I don't. So just follow my mouse. Evan Ingram is supposed to run a spot route in the middle of the field. So he's going to come right here and he's going to sit down. He's going to push vertical at the inside shoulder of this linebacker and then split and sit right between these 2 safeties over the mic. They're playing cover 2. Corner's going to sit here in the flats. Corner's going to sit here in the flats. He's got hook to curl. He's got middle. He's got hook to curl. Deep half. Okay. They're just straight rushing 4. Marvin Mims is going to run essentially a wheel out of here. We're not going to call it a rail because a rail would be tight. So he's going to run a wheel. And what he's going to do is he's going to occupy the safety and he's going to occupy this corner right here. You've got Pat Bryant coming underneath Ingram because he is going to be the over on our mesh. RJ Harvey is going to be our under. Now,
except he couldn't really get under Ingram because Ingram got his shit pushed in.
Yes, and so they do a good job of adjusting here. I feel like Pat Bryant is supposed to be the up man here. RJ Harvey is supposed to be the down man. So they have high five relationship underneath, right? RJ Harvey comes out on this side, Pat Bryant comes out on this side. Cortland is running a corner here. Now this is an alert read. If they were playing man coverage, or they were playing, or if this guy blitzed, anything like that, this is a hot read. So we're throwing this. This is just a clear out. Mims is just a clear out here. Pat Bryant, I think in this play is just supposed to be, he's just over. This is the pick guy. Okay. But again, they call cover 2. This is where things got messed up. Now we'll let this go a little bit more.
No, and really quick, since we were talking about Mims, really quick, Pat, and you're saying that Mims is the clear out. What is Mims doing right now on the near side?
Mims is looking back. He's supposed to be pulling this guy.
Mims has
all the way out here.
Mims has come to a complete stop.
At the goal line. At the goal line, too. If he was aggressive in this, look at where the corner's eyes are. The corner's eyes are where they're supposed to be. They're inside. Where's Marvin Mims' head right now? He's looking at what's going on over here. What the hell are you looking at, cuz? Run your damn route. If he puts his head down and he attacks this outside shoulder, that is going to take this corner all the way out of here. Okay? It's going to take him all the way over here. And since this safety alerts and he says, okay, hey, he broke out. Cortland Sutton broke out. They're communicating, hey, over the top. He now has to take the responsibility of the second most vertical threat, which is Evan Ingram. Marvin Mims, if you attack back shoulder, that's a fade. That's a ball in the corner of the end zone. This safety's not getting over the top of that. Okay? I digress. What's the defensive call, Mario? Cover 2. That means it's zone coverage. In Sean Payton's playbook and in my playbook, in mesh, if you see zone after the cross, you sit your ass down in the soft zone. You don't keep going because you're going into coverage.
So who needs to sit here?
Okay. RJ Harvey, my brother, my boy. What the fuck are we doing? Okay. I'm Sean Payton right now. RJ, what do you see? What's the coverage? You be RJ Harvey. RJ Harvey, what's the coverage right now?
Cover 2.
Is that man or zone?
Apparently, I don't know.
Is it man or zone?
That's zone.
So why the fuck aren't you sitting your ass down? Why
trying
are
to be
you not
RJ Harvey.
sitting? Why are you not sitting? Like, brother, if you see it is zone, sit down right there. That's a touchdown. It's a touchdown. That's what Bo is looking at. He is looking right here to see, okay, is the mic is going with Evan Ingram. RJ, what are you doing, bud? Where are you going? And look where he takes himself.
Right into
the waiting arms of coverage. So you tell me, Mario.
And Ingram pulled and Ingram pulled that other linebacker over. Ingram pulled the mic. It's situational awareness football.
Pat Bryant, however, and this is why I think Pat Bryant was supposed to be the over guy on this mesh. Pat Bryant keeps going. Now, same thing for him, because it's cover 2, it's zone. You got to sit. We got to find space. But instead, you got Marvin Mims and RJ Harvey making eye contact, saying, are you getting the ball? Am I getting the ball? Who's getting the ball? Instead of just running the fucking route the way that it's supposed to be run. This is a touchdown. This is a fucking touchdown if they run this correctly. And that's what I'm talking about. These are the little details that are going to fuck you in the playoffs if you don't pay attention to them. Court did his job. Court pulled both the safety and the corner. That's fantastic. Pat probably was supposed to be the over here. Can't blame him because Evan Ingram got jammed at the line of scrimmage. What the fuck are you getting jammed at the line of scrimmage for? What are we doing here? You know you got to go inside. You know you got a guy behind you that you have to clear out for. Do your fucking job. But instead we get this shit show. So now Bo's standing there like he's seeing the ghost of Christmas past, and
there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing.
What is he supposed to do here? What is he supposed to do?
There's nothing to be done.
Marvin Mims is now going back in to the end zone to try and maybe find some space here. That's a really bad idea because this corner is on his inside hip. He can't do anything with that. RJ Harvey also tries to go in, so now we're just creating traffic. Court's coming back. He's still pulling this guy. Now, Pat's there, but that's a long throw, and that corner could jump that. That's probably a house call. So we got to eat it. And then we take a sack. And now, here's the thing. Look at the offensive line. Look at that little reaction right there. Fuck me, dude. Fuck me. Are you kidding me? Are you joking me? That's what they're saying right now. Are you fucking kidding me? We were this close. All they did was call cover 2. That's all they did. It's zone. Sit your fucking ass down. Marvin Mims. This is why you're not getting the fucking ball. Because you're not doing what you are supposed to be doing. You're giving half-ass effort.
This is what Pat means when he was talking earlier about Pat, and I just want to clarify this for everybody. When Pat was saying that, it's like, yeah, they don't want to put stuff on film, but it wasn't even necessarily like
this is a day one play
game plan. Yeah, this is a very, very early install, like very base concept that almost every single offense, certainly a Sean Payton staple of a Sean Payton offense. This is execution. And this is the kind of stuff that Pat's talking about, where it's like, blame Sean Payton for things. He is not without blame. He should have called a better game overall. Okay.
But that's the thing. This is a good play.
Right. When you have a situation like this, everybody needs to know what their assignment is, what they need to be doing. And if there's one person that's not doing what they are supposed to be doing, and you have a quarterback who likely knows what everybody should be doing and exactly where everybody needs to be on the field at any given time, you got to make damn sure that you're doing those things.
Yeah. And that was not being exactly done. Right.
And these are the kinds of things. It's like, if you are not successfully running mesh in this situation at this point of the season, that has me a little bit worried.
Well, it's not just that they're not running it right. It's just it's the little detail of understanding, okay, it's zone coverage. Now, because it's zone coverage, I have to sit down. It's those things that you have to be able to execute. And I will give RJ a little grace. I will give him a little grace because he's a rookie.
That's fair. But like, we saw it in the playoffs last year, Pat, and you broke down the play where Troy Franklin did the wrong thing. And he went over to the sideline, and Sean Payton dog cussed him. Rookie wide receiver who had struggled all year, caught a big touchdown earlier in that game. Jeez. This is what needs to be cleaned up. This kind of stuff can't happen. You are a much better team than you were last year. And it's because, for the most part, you have done all of these little things correctly. Yeah. But when you go to the playoffs, and every single solitary play matters, and every single route, and every single concept, and every single thing that is happening for every player is so important on every single play. This was never going to affect the outcome of this game, that we know that. What if we see this same shit in the playoffs, Pat? This could be the difference between a win or a loss. This could be the difference between going home and going to the Super Bowl. That's why Pat wanted to bring this play up, because it's not something that should be happening week 18 of the season against a bunch of backups.
I'll tell you right
Regardless, like, and again, great defensive play call there.
now.
That was a perfect mesh beater.
Yes, but if it's run correctly, I'll tell you right now, if it was Cooper Kupp instead of RJ Harvey, that's a touchdown.
Sure. But let me ask you this, out of sheer curiosity, because you pointed out the fact that Marvin Mims was in the backfield, RJ Harvey was split out wide. Do you have a problem with the personnel there? Are you expecting too much from RJ Harvey as a rookie running back to know? And because I don't know, how much does a running back know in terms of the intricacies of mesh if he's out wide? And one of your let me ask you.
I'll tell you right now, if that
you
was
take RJ. That's what I was going to ask you. You replaced RJ Harvey with Lil Jordan Humphrey on that play. Is it a touchdown?
Probably
so
is.
In that aspect, personnel is a problem. And this is something that we've seen. It's like the personnel groupings, and people want to say what they want to say. But like just at surface value, if I'm looking at that, and I'm expecting
that's actually a good point.
My receiver to run a certain route or do a certain thing and sit in mesh.
Yeah.
How much experience in his rookie year does RJ Harvey, where it's going through his head thinking, okay, I'm reading the defense, they're in zone, I know that I have to sit right here. Whereas you get a guy like Lil Jordan Humphrey, who's been running this concept since he was a rookie with Sean Payton in New Orleans, maybe a little bit of a safer bet. And maybe as a level of copium coming from me right now, they want to put this out on film because in the playoffs, when it matters, you will have a Lil Jordan Humphrey, or you'll get a Pat Bryant or a Cortland Sutton to be in that certain position, and you'll mix things around. So it's the same concept with different personnel.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I think in this particular play, for the personnel, I don't think necessarily, like, I get what Sean was trying to do with it. Like, I get it. I understand. But if you have Mims in the backfield, especially in like a pistol look, they've run like toss and stuff out of pistol looks with Mims before. They did it last year. Like put Lil Jordan Humphrey in over Harvey in that situation, because what is Lil Jordan Humphrey? A run blocker. He's a great run blocker. So if you put him in there next to Court, me as a defensive, like a defensive play caller, I'm saying, okay, they've got this personnel on this. This might be a run. It might be a run, or it might be a swing screen. Like it might be something like that. Maybe I have to go a little bit heavier. Maybe I have to stack the box.
And here's the other thing: like if we're talking about LJH in that situation,
but that's why it wouldn't work. Because
right. No, I'm
make
saying,
that adjustment.
Like at the same time, if you're talking about a route where he needs to box out the defender, something that we have seen him do plenty of times, then you want, like, he's big. He ain't that little, Pat. You want a big body receiver in there to be able to box out and use his leverage. RJ Harvey's not able to use his leverage in this situation. So again, I guess we'll keep an eye on it. If they run mesh and they have Marvin Mims in the backfield, I guess we'll see what the personnel and the formation looks like.
Michael Bandy scored a touchdown on mesh. Granted, it was a broken play, but it was still mesh.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and it was a little bit of a difference.
It was a broken play, but it was still
technically
mesh.
Michael Bandy did in fact score a touchdown on mesh.
Love it. Love to see it.
Before we get out of here, before we do what's being considered as the greatest segment in all of Denver Broncos podcast history, Pat, tell the wonderful people where they can find your content, where they can find you on Twitter, everything that the people need to know about you.
On Twitter, at Patrick Quixote. I am not that hard to find. Believe in Broncos with the incomparable Bree Maestas. Let's see. What else am I missing? Football season is going to start in the coming months for the boys. Camp is going to be here before we know it. Really excited. Go Cards.
Actually, it's the Lincoln Fighting Coyotes. I've submitted the paperwork. We're in the process of making that happen. Follow me on Twitter Follow me on Twitter
PIL.
at Vitanzi Therapy. Go to vitanzitherapy.com if you want to schedule an appointment with me or figure out what it is that I
Please.
do. I don't just work on professional athletes. I work on regular people as
I
well.
need you to fix
Some
some.
people that are terrible athletes, few and far between. Everybody, but all ends of the spectrum, everybody comes in to see me. People that took Tylenol as a kid, all ends of the spectrum. Now, Pat, it is time. Yeah, like you.
Like me. That's why I love football
It's
so
time
much.
for Bricked Up. Patrick Chiotti, what
Right,
happened bricked up on this, the 6th day of January in the year of our Lord, 2026?
Well, first off, happy 5th anniversary to the most peaceful protest that has ever happened in the history of our nation. What has me bricked up? The Denver Broncos are the top seed in the AFC. They got home field advantage. They got one of the best defenses in the league. Zach Allen is an absolute fucking monster. DJ Jones, Malcolm Roach, Nick Bonito, Jonathan Cooper, Pat Surtain, Riley Moss. All y'all are dogs. Justin Sternad, have a game. My goodness. This team is just absolutely nuts, and I can't wait to see Broncos country at full force yet again for a playoff game in the Mile High. I looked at tickets. Not a chance. Not a chance I was getting tickets for that game. But I will be stomping my feet on every third down. I will be doing every incomplete chant that I possibly can because I want everybody in Broncos country to know that I am rocking with you guys, and I cannot wait. That is what has me absolutely bricked to the gills. It hopefully is cold. I hope we get like just a classic Denver playoff game experience. Brittle, cold, breath everywhere. What is it? The elevation sickness hype video. Like, give me all that stuff. Like, inject it directly into my veins. I want to see dudes with the masks on the sidelines, barely able to breathe. Give it to me. I'm absolutely stoked. And you know what? Fuck all of the doubters. Fuck all of the Denver media that said, "Oh, this team's not going to be good. They're barely going to scrape by. Bo Nix is a mistake. Yada yada yada." Fuck you, please. Now you're watching this team and you're enjoying it. Yeah, finally you pulled your head out of your ass and you can finally enjoy the finer things in life, because the NFL is fantastic when the Denver Broncos are good. Everybody loves to hate us, but they all want to be us at the end of the day. Richest ownership in the league, most beautiful stadium in the league, most beautiful state in the league. My goodness, this is the best team in the NFL. The record says so. I'm going to ignore the Seahawks for a second. The record says so, and the Patriots. I'm going to ignore those two teams, and I'm going to look directly at our beloved Denver Broncos. 14 wins on the season. That's what's got me bricked up. Yeah.
In a year that there was a lot of doubt, a year that really, from the national pundits, started on a positive note. Patrick, the Broncos were the
Super
dark
Bowl
horse
sneakers.
Super Bowl contenders. They were the hot team to pick. Why? Well, because first and foremost, Sean Payton is a friend of the national media, and all of his friends wanted to make sure that they gave him his flowers, and those were the expectations. But Patrick, a lot of the discourse changed after week 3. You had a team that, lost on the road to Indianapolis because of a last-second field goal, that lost to the Chargers in LA because of a last-second field goal. And you're heading into week 4, you're 1-2, and you're not really, but you're like, yeah, this isn't really the way that we want it to start. And then you start winning a couple games. You beat a team like the Bengals, who didn't have Joe Burrow, and that's okay. Like, they thumped them and they took care of business and they did what they needed to do. And they proceeded Pat, after starting 1-2, to rip off 11 straight games. They had won so many games in a row, Pat, I forgot what it was like to lose. And that game against Jacksonville happened, and you just got that vibe that things just didn't sit right. It was just one of those games, like if you've ever listened to KOA and heard Nick Ferguson talk about their 2006 playoff run or the 2005 playoff run where they got beat by the Pittsburgh Steelers, that day still haunts him because he said you're walking into the locker room, you could just tell stuff was off. That was the game that they had against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and thankfully, Pat, they got it out of the way. They've gotten all of their negativity out of the way. They've gotten all of their bad play out of the way. The play that we just broke down, they're seeing the same things that we're seeing, and you know that they're going to get it cleaned up because they are, as you said, the best team in all of football. And so to all these people that you're referring to, the individuals that picked the Broncos as the dark horse contender and then jumped off the bandwagon following their week 3 loss, stay your ass on that side of the fence. We don't want you here. We don't need you here. Because I'm here to tell you something that I've been trying to tell you all damn season and that Pat has been trying to tell you all damn season. If this team can play a complete game, hell, if this team can play 3 really good quarters, every facet, offense, defense, special teams, nobody is beating them. The Patriots aren't beating them. The Jaguars aren't beating them. The Texans aren't beating them. The Chargers aren't beating them. The Bills aren't beating them. Then they go to the Super Bowl. The Seahawks aren't going to beat them. The Rams aren't going to beat them. The Niners aren't going to beat them. The Eagles aren't going to beat them. The Panthers, I guess they exist, but we don't really need to waste our breath on that. What I'm trying to say to you people is that if this team plays to its capability, if this team can tie together 3 solid quarters every single game for the next 3 games, then a month and a half from now, a month and 2 days from now, your Denver Broncos will be world champions, just like they were 10 years ago. Where were you the last time that they won the Super Bowl? You know damn well where the hell you were the last time this team won the Super Bowl. And you know what? As long as they play the way that they know they know how to do, they play to the capability, they clean up these little things, then you're going to start remembering in a month and 2 days where you were when the Broncos won their 4th Super Bowl as a franchise. Then you were going to look at that time from the last time that they won the Super Bowl to this time that they won the Super Bowl. And you're going to say, you know what? This team was very similar to that 2015 team. Carried by the defense, really well coached. Offense did exactly what they needed to do when they needed to do it. They won games when they were close. They blew out teams that they had to. But the bottom line is, no matter how it looked, they got the W. The only thing that matters, the only thing that has ever mattered, the only thing that will ever matter, and as long as the Broncos take care of business, you, watching this right now, you, Bronco fan, will get to say for the entire offseason and for the entire following season that you root for the goddamn Super Bowl champion Denver Broncos. And that's what has me bricked up.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Hey,
true words never been spoken.
Thank you so much for joining us. I have been Mario Vitanzi. That has been Patrick Chiotti. And Pat, what is it that makes us so great? What is it that makes people believe that we run the best podcast in all of Broncos country?
Because you don't just have 2 stars. That's a planet. You got 2 planets.
You got 2 planets that make up altitude adjustment. Coach Sean Payton, take us out. How do we do?
Your own little internet shows are driving me crazy.
Well, you better win a Super Bowl if you keep talking shit like that every freaking time, Sean. We do nothing but crank out the best show week after week after week. And these silly little internet shows just drive him crazy. Go win a Super Bowl and then say something, Coach. Go be the first ever coach to ever win a Super Bowl with 2 different teams. Coach Sean Payton, cement your legacy. This is Altitude Adjustment. We love you. Goodbye. Oh, no, here it comes. Yeah, bye.
Hey, feel I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a stick up.